Hey there, class. Hope you're having a good spring break. Just wanted to give you guys some feedback on the midterm exam. So, this was an exam that a lot of people struggled with. So, if you did not receive the grade that you would have liked, chances are many of your peers feel the same way. I wanted to address a couple of the questions that students found particularly hard today and talk about one question that I am going to be issuing some additional credit for. So, one question people really struggled with was question 14. What was the purpose of the innovative peer support service provided by the We Are Not Alone or WANA Society? And a number of students picked choice A, helping inpatients foster friendships that might endure in the community after discharge, which is not correct because the people that were involved with WANA were not inpatients. They were already outpatient. They had left the hospital. So the answer is answer C, offering outpatients comprehensive resources containing info and community about community-based peer-run programs. So that's question 14, and that is the best answer, answer C. Question 19. I am a little surprised people struggle with this one because people struggled last year and we changed it. We made it what I thought would be much easier and people still struggled. So, question 19 is which of the following could be considered a reasonable accommodation for a student who has difficulty with concentration and attention? So, the correct answer is answer B. The student is provided with a desk that is in front of the classroom with a clear view of both instructor and the screen. A lot of people chose answer A. The student meets with the faculty for 3 hours a week to review the upcoming lesson and ask questions about the readings. Guys, that is not a reasonable accommodation to have a student have 3 hours of individual time with an instructor each week. Um, if you guys think that that's reasonable, sorry. This was the question that we had made intentionally difficult. Last year we had said 1 hour a week, and we said even that wasn't really reasonable, but we understood and we ended up giving credit. But there's no way that I can get on board with saying 3 hours a week of individual time with an instructor is a reasonable accommodation to make. Um, the student being allowed to take the course as an independent study would not necessarily allow the student to demonstrate the mastery of the course. So that would be changing it too much. Um, and then the other one, the student's allowed to attend half the classes and allowed to watch videotape versions of the classes that she misses, would not necessarily be a difficult, would not be a reasonable accommodation for concentration and attention. I can't see that being approved anyway. Um, so again, the best answer is answer B. Being provided with a desk in front of the classroom with a clear view of the instructor and the screen is going to help people concentrate better because they're going to be in front of the class and pay attention better. And that is quite reasonable to ask people. Question 22. This type of family intervention primarily addresses issues associated with caregiving and is a self-help approach where families provide information and support to one another. So this one a lot of people missed and chose family psychoeducation, but the correct answer is family education model. Um, and the point, the giveaway, so to speak, is that it's being provided to one another. So this is more a family to family program as opposed to having trained practitioners doing psychoeducation. So that was sort of the tell there and why it was not family psychoeducation, but family education model. Question 23. All of the following are key principles of the IPS approach to supported employment except. So let's look at the ones it's not. So rehab is considered an integral component of mental health treatment rather than a separate service. That is definitely a key principle of IPS. The time unlimited follow along supports from a mental health team are often necessary to sustain employment. Yep, we definitely do that in IPS. Services are based on consumers' preferences and choices rather than providers' judgment. Definitely, I don't think anybody chose that one. And then the answer that it is, the correct answer is the goal is competitive employment. Consumers often work up to this goal by spending time in pre-vocational or sheltered work settings. So that last bit there of pre-voc and sheltered work never would be in any kind of IPS literature. People that believe in the IPS model of supported employment would never refer somebody to sheltered workshops due to pre-voc work because they believe in competitive employment, and first and foremost that they are going to be placing people in positions that any other person in the community would be eligible for. So that is the answer to that question, answer B. So the last one I wanted to talk about is the one that I will be giving some people credit for. So the question is question 20. Which evidence-based practice results in greater levels of independence, empowerment, and self-esteem for participants? So the reason that I'm going to be giving credit for people that missed this answer is because it was not really worded as well as it could have been. So it should have been better worded. It would have been what evidence-based practice primarily results in greater levels, or what is the outcome? What the primary outcome is greater levels of independence, empowerment, self-esteem, and participant. So if that were the question, what would the answer be, right? What evidence-based practice results in outcomes, primary outcomes being greater levels of independence, empowerment, and self-esteem for participants? The answer would be consumer-operated services. So that is the correct answer on the quiz or on the exam. I'm going to be giving credit because so many people picked supported employment. And that question, I mean, I believe there is probably some evidence that supported employment does lead to those things. However, if the if the question had been phrased as primarily, they would have, this would not have been the correct answer because the primary outcomes are not greater levels of independence, empowerment, and self-esteem. They may be secondary outcomes. Similarly with assertive community treatment and family psychoed. So I will be adjusting people that did not answer consumer operated services, and so some of you, a good deal of you, can expect a 4-point bump in your grade. But otherwise, please let this serve as sort of a, really clear announcement of, the kind of quality work you're going to need to put in to do well on the final exam. These questions are not easy, but if you, read through the modules and had a really good understanding of the articles, I believe you could have done well. So, any other questions, send me an email. Otherwise, look for new material coming up next Monday. Take care, guys.